We didn't have the terms domestic violence. It wasn't part of the social service vocabulary. It certainly hadn't become a part of the academic world or the legal world.
Working with the issue of domestic violence in the county that I am from was a challenge.
It was just never talked about, never admitted. Women were never given the benefit. Survivors were ashamed.
I did everything I could to say the words domestic violence in our community to see if we could get something going.
Not only was domestic violence something that had not yet been coalesced into a social problem, the status of women was really different than it is in 2021. Women were still more locked into a secondary status. We really had no language.
The state of services at that time was very bad. As for the laws, they were in horrible condition, of course, and that was the beginning of changing the laws to create the orders of protection, to change the laws about men being able to beat their wives legally, because they could, of course, and their children. The self-defense laws were not applied to women, and it was very sad all around. But that was the time of great movement in the women's rights movement.
We started attracting more and more interest from other agencies that were starting up. And we said, we need a leader. We need to do something about this. And so that's when we started talking about developing a state coalition to bring us together in a more whole and less fragmented way.
I think it's one of the success stories of the women's movement was to transform the societal perception of violence against women within the family and men as well.
When the shelters were developed and women had a way to flee, to get out of the violent situation, even though it's difficult. It's very, very difficult to do that. We all know that, or we should know that, how difficult it is to actually flee your home with nothing to a strange place and start over. But women have done it and do it. People were becoming concerned about it, were speaking up about it. Professionals, professors, lawyers, others, but also the survivors were speaking up and going to the police.
And it took a long time before behavioral health recognized domestic violence as its own social problem that deserved its own category and funding.
Times were changing, and people were gaining respect for what we were saying out there. And to me, that's my whole being. That is the reason I do this, for that.
Now, 40 years later, I think we have a much richer, more diverse understanding of all the range of factors that are involved within intimate partner violence.
All of us in this service here in the state that will not give in to anyone that says domestic violence and sexual assault does not exist. We're not made that way.
Those of us who have done this work have made such a change in their lives and changed so many people's lives for the better.
The coalition has been so central to the progress. The coalition really moved the law forward and also helped service providers come together, work together, and understanding and developing policies that were most effective, and also to keep the funding going, which is just always a struggle.
We're very, 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 very fortunate to be in this work and to be able to share what we know and to bring safety and guidance to as many people, women, children, men, as we have been able to.
The community has, I think, in Arizona been tremendously supportive and important.
You have shown them another way. You have put out a hand. You have somebody cares. There are other options. You are not to blame. You are not wrong. So never give up. That's it. Never give up.